This program contains crazy material, including offensive language. Listening discretion is advised. Welcome to a Fio's Padded Room podcast. So put on your straitjackets and join Big Jim and Brad Storm as they probe inside the mind of a new guest each week. So strap up and let's do this.
Our guest this week on a Fio's Padded Room podcast has been a professional performer and recording musician since the young age of 15. He began in radio, but had to put his dreams on hold in order to pay the bills. In 2017, our guest decided he had enough and used his vocal skills to begin a successful voiceover career. It's time to get strapped in the padded room because Scott Walton, you are locked in and mic'd up.
Yeah. Welcome, Scott.
Hey, awesome.
Welcome to the show, Scott.
Hey, thank you.
So you are a long-time listener too, buddy. I get all kinds of good comments from you. Like,
oh yeah.
I like that. That makes me feel good. I feel so much better now.
I know if we're late, Scott will let us know. It's like, oh God, I got to get it out for Scott.
Well, you know, when I'm working my day job, you know, I'm a podcast junkie.
What's some good ones?
No, I mean, I listen to the VO usuals.
The Padded Room.
Of course, the Padded Room. There's a couple I like, the VOBS and Middle Class VO podcast.
Oh, cool. I haven't checked that out. So, hey, before everything was revealed to you at 15, why don't you take us back to your early childhood? Talk about what you were doing at the time and what made you actually decide, you know, hey, I want to be a musician. I can't talk. I want to be a musician. That's it. Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Well, yeah.
I want to rock and I want to roll.
I
I want to rock.
I
I love it.
want to rock.
Tell me you like Tenacious D, right?
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen them a bunch of times.
Awesome.
Anytime we could sing, man.
Let's just put some tracks on and scream. It'd be awesome.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I got into it as a kid. I always sang in choir and stuff at church and at home, in school. And then I saw Eddie Van Halen on actually the Jump video in 1984. I was 14 years old. And just the look on his face, you know, he kind of had that shit-eating grin on his face, you know, while he's playing this killer solo, you know, and I'm going,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, you know. So, I had learned a few guitar chords, you know, from, actually there was an elective when I was in junior high school and I had learned like, you know, my first 3 chords. So I figured, well, you know, I can start a band, right? So,
Wait a minute. You had an elective that you could learn how to play guitar?
It was these acoustic nylon string guitars,
awesome.
And they taught you basically, you know, the A chord, D chord, and the G major chord, and you just went from there, and it was really fun. And I hooked up with a couple guys I was in class with, and we started a band at 14, and I was in the same band until till 2000. We were together, and
wow,
we played locally in Columbus a lot, and actually we played Christian rock music, but we played out in a lot of different places, and actually played. I don't know if you guys have ever heard. I know you guys are probably both into Pantera and Dimebag, right?
Yeah. May rest in peace.
In my town, Columbus, Ohio, the bar where he was shot, that was the Alrosa Villa, and I at one time in the late 80s and early 90s, I played there quite a bit. So it was the rock club in Columbus. There were only a couple, and got to play in that, and then played in a couple other bands after that.
What was the band's name?
An all-acoustic band.
What was it?
The band's name was Allegiance. And and we were kind of like
Striper. No, you're not like that.
Well, no, we didn't have the get-ups or anything. Although we did kind of dress like circus clowns in the very beginning, but at the end we ended up looking more like Tesla or Metallica.
Oh, okay,
cool.
Yes.
We were
like a Christian guar.
Yeah, good Christian guar.
So throwing out holy water instead of pee.
Praise the Lord.
That's right. Well, you know, I'm not gonna make any. I don't have any problem telling people what I believe and my faith. It is very important to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not an evangelist. I'm not I don't look down on anybody if they believe different than me. If you want to know what I got, then I'm happy to tell you about it. But if not, we can chill, we can have a brew and, talk about whatever, so I'm not, it's part of my lifestyle, but it's not a badge I wear on my chest. I want people to see it in my life more than me talk about it.
Yes.
That kind of thing. I mean,
lead by example.
Well, yeah, like they say.
Yeah. And like I said,
words,
I'm not
right?
perfect,
We all know that,
and certainly, but I know that God has been good to me, and I just try to be good to other people, and hopefully, I trust that He will show that to me, or that He will show that to other people if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
So, but anyway, I played in a bunch of different bands and an all acoustic group, which was really, really good. I love that band. And then I started playing the blues.
Yes.
I kind of got bit by the blues bug, and
nice.
I joined one blues band, didn't quite work out, and then I joined another one. And these guys that I play with locally, although we haven't played together since February 15th of 2019.
Yeah, because that's one thing I do miss. I miss going to see concerts.
Yeah.
I miss going to see bands play live.
Yeah.
It's just...
Is this Roadhouse Redeemed?
Yeah, Roadhouse Redeemed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Roadhouse Redeemed. Yeah. And we've been fortunate enough. It's not just me, but the four of us. We have been blessed enough to go to win a regional contest called the. Well, we didn't win the international, but we won a regional contest here in town in Ohio, and we got to go two different times in 2017 and 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Memphis, Tennessee, and competed in what they call the International Blues Challenge, and it's put on by a group called the Blues Foundation, and they try to keep roots music and music that is indigenous to America alive. That in one form or another, and so we were honored enough to go down there. And actually, Brad, we played in King Jerry Lawler's club.
Nice.
We made it the first year. We made it in the semifinals, and it was we played in Jerry Lawler's club, and it was really cool. And he was there too. He was pretty nice. It's kind of hard to tell when you just meet somebody and say hi, but he seemed pretty cool. But there was a lot of cool memorabilia in his bar, and there were like these old televisions, tube televisions showing old Georgia
Memphis.
Championship wrestling and stuff, and
Georgia Championship
people like
Memphis.
And Tommy Wildfire Rich and Ole Anderson and Buzz Sawyer and Minnesota. Yeah, all those guys, man. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Mean Mark Callis.
Yeah. But there was all kinds of stuff there. So it was pretty cool. A good experience. And we didn't win.
So how many bands did you guys compete against?
I think there were, between bands and solo acts, there were 200 and both years was over 200 bands, but one year was pretty packed. They had 240, and these are bands from all over the world. I mean, we met
like metal bands, like you'd have rock bands, country bands.
They're all blues. It's all blues.
Oh, they're all blues.
But it's blues is a huge genre. I mean, because you have Stevie Ray Vaughan, but then you also have the Black Crowes style. I mean, you know what I mean. So you have two different kinds, or you have the Chicago guys, like Muddy Waters, and then you have B.B. King. It's all different. So there's lots of different types that fall under the blues umbrella. We got to meet people from Prague, from Germany, just really, really cool people. We trade CDs because most of the people who are into blues are our age and older. And so, they still use CDs in their cars and stuff.
Hey, they got an 8-track.
Exactly. Can I get a cassette dub of that? But
right, yeah.
The boom boxes with the two cassette deck, you thought you were pretty hot when you had the dual cassette deck.
Oh,
yeah, buddy.
You'd fast forward it, and then you freaked out because it would stop at each individual song on the cassette.
Oh, yeah.
It was cool back in the day. You could fast forward it would stop at each song.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was technology. You blew you away back then. It was like, whoa, man.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when you could get the CD changer, put in the trunk, and you could put like 5 CDs in there.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it was awesome.
Yep.
Yep. I had
cool.
what did I have? A cassette player that had a CD adapter.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I could play CDs through the cassette.
That's right. You stick it in there and
The tape with the long wire. Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And so how did it all turn out? I mean, with all that?
Well, I mean, we still play. We recorded an EP, and we've been planning on recording a full-length CD, but we can't get together. You know, we've got about 9 or 10 tunes that we can record and write a few more, but it's just we're waiting for the virus to pass over us. Our harmonica player and the primary singer, he sings and plays harmonica. He actually got it, and he's quarantining right now, but he's starting to feel better. He was feeling sick, but now he's nothing major, but he feels like he's pulling out pretty good. So he should be
good to hear.
He should be doing better in no time. Yeah. So
you're in music, but then you dabbled in radio for a little bit. Why don't you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, well, my mom, she knew that there was, the older you get, the smarter your parents are,
Oh yeah.
But my mom was my mom wanted me to have, the typical, because I thought I was going to be the Christian rock Van Halen. She said, well, you're going to need to have a backup plan, blah, blah, blah. And the guy who owned one of the big Christian record store in Columbus, well, the most hip anyway, is an independent shop. He was also, for a time, the general manager of the main Christian station that had a Christian rock program on Friday nights. And, I was good friend of his, and they started a class at their school, at the radio station, where you could, I forget how much it was. It was really cheap, maybe $7,500.
Okay.
And I joined this, and they basically taught you remember carts, Brad, and
yep.
They still did all that stuff and turntables and that sort of thing. And they had us do, they taught us how to cue that stuff up, how to use the board to bring things up, and what rip and read is, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What to do when, it's 2:30 in the morning and the power goes out and you're off the air, and that kind of stuff. But anyway,
what to do when you have to go to the bathroom and it's like 3 floors down, you got to take the stairs.
You put on Twilight Zone by Golden Earring, and then you go.
or the Leonard Skinner.
Oh yeah. It's Stairway or
Stairway to Heaven.
Free Bird or something.
Free Birds, yeah.
Free Birds.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was good. It was something I could do. I didn't really have a lot going on as far as that goes. So I got to do that for a little while, and I liked it because you got to play with gear, and I always like to talk, so it was one of those things where I
got to be around
latched onto it. Yeah, and I got to be around music and got to know when when the shows were coming, and all that cool stuff. So yeah, it was all right. I did that for a couple years. I can't remember exactly, but it was the early 90s.
What was your shift?
Midnight to 3.
Yeah, I had it was like 2 to 5, I think, 2 to 4 or something like that.
Oh wow!
But anyway, yeah, I remember walking home half awake at University of Georgia. Man, it was good times though.
Here's my brush with VO greatness. Even back then, you guys know Bill DeWeese, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Bill is from Columbus and Ohio, and he worked at WRFD, which was an AM station, AM 80 WRFD Christian station. And then we were the FM station, 104.9 WCVO. And so I knew of Bill. I knew who he was.
Wow.
And because we did kind of, for a short time, moved in some of the same circles when I hung out with the general manager and stuff. So they knew each other really well, but I didn't. This is before Bill's voiceover dynasty. And I'm saying that not to cut him down. I mean, Bill's an awesome guy.
We all love Bill. Absolutely.
Every time I've ever contacted him, he's never asked me for a dime, and he's always been very cool with me. So, I got nothing but respect for Bill DeWeese. But we kind of come from the same place.
Nice. So things took a turn. You need to find something that would actually pay some bills, because obviously, radio doesn't pay.
No.
Or does it? I don't know.
Well, no, not for me. That was I was a volunteer. I was an on-air volunteer.
It's definitely not for you.
I wasn't making anything. I was working, and for a short time, I was going to Bible college.
Okay.
And that's when I met my wife.
I
didn't meet her at.
You met this young lady that said, Scott, hey. And you're like, okay, time to get a job.
I need a job. Well, I was working at a place that, warehouse skids, any of you guys have ever done warehouse work or whatever, your pallets. I worked for a place that was in a condemned building on the south end of Columbus. And we drove these little flatbed trucks and we picked up all these broken pallets from all over Columbus. We'd bring them back to this place and we would tear the bad parts out and put new parts in, new boards in and nail them together and sell them for a profit. This married couple that they owned this business. He was a full-time fireman and then his wife was a homemaker, but they ran this business together. I worked for them while I was in college and then shortly after, and I didn't have any benefits or anything like that. And then I married this lady who also herself has a lovely 7-year-old daughter. Right on. So I needed to make a real living, because I wanted her to be able to be home and be with her daughter and then anybody else who comes along. Yeah. So, and that's the way, and that's the way it worked for us. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do that. And I totally get it, but we bit the bullet and we've lived on one income. My wife has worked part-time here and there on and off our entire marriage. But I have always been the main breadwinner, not because I think that's how it has to be. It's just a choice that we make. I don't want to, I am a feminist. So I'm not meaning to be chauvinistic by any sense of me saying that. My wife is a wonderful woman and all she's ever wanted to do was be a mother. And so I wanted to be able to let her be home, with our daughter and then our son who came along a few years later. And so anyway, I went to church with a guy who was an aircraft mechanic and he said, "Hey, I hear you're looking for a job with benefits. We're hiring where I work and there are full benefits. It's a union job and we're hiring aircraft cleaners. So if you want to come over, I'll give you an application and we'll see what we can do." And so I said, okay. So I went and filled out an application and I got hired, and it was a company called Executive Jet Aviation. I started there cleaning airplanes. And as soon as I got there, the place started growing like crazy. And I became an aircraft fueler, and then I went into management and I managed the cleaners and fuelers for a while. But I kind of hit it.
Let me ask you something,
yes,
Scott.
go ahead.
Let me interrupt for a second.
No, go ahead.
I want to, kind of like I want to correlate this with voiceover.
Yes.
How has working in that field helped you with your voiceover career?
I don't really know how it helped me with my voiceover career other than the fact after working, I've been there 24 years. A year after we got married.
Running a business, possible?
Yes, running a business, seeing about different things and running into different entrepreneurs and stuff. Like I got the chance to talk to a lot of famous people where I work because they fly on our airplanes. The company I work for is changed its name in 2002 to NetJets, and so a lot of well-known people fly on our aircraft. And I was just a little bit of useless bar trivia. The 33 on the back of a green Rolling Rock beer label it stands for 1933, which is the year that Prohibition was abolished.
Oh,
and
wow.
they could start brewing beer again. So
that is
anyway,
cool.
Oh, nice.
But to say all that to say, I actually went to school and became a mechanic, and they paid for it. And I have a great job there. Something happened, and I was given a reprimand, and I was off work for 2 weeks with no pay. And it's a long story, but I realized that as safe as I like to think that job was, it's not. No job is safe.
No.
And so I realized I didn't want to be, I didn't want to just rely on my employer, as great as they are. I just didn't want to rely on them for all of the means for my family. So
Absolutely.
I started looking for things, and I tried driving for Uber, and in Columbus that kind of sucked. And then I listened to a podcast, and that other VO person, Carrie Olsen, she was a guest on an RV lifestyle podcast. We were getting ready to have we were passing a new contract. I was going to get a signing bonus for our contract at NetJets, and my wife and I were kicking around the idea of buying a used camper and taking it and going out, and so I was,
that'd be cool.
Anything, I get into anything anything
cool.
I'm into, I jump in. And so
where would you go first?
We would probably go the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what we decided we do first.
Let the games begin! Let the games begin! Let the games begin! That's right, it's time for another round of a VO's Padded Improv. We've got a commercial script up there for you. Scott, I want you to read this as a biker, and get ready for this one, a cowboy SpongeBob. So when you're ready, the mic is yours.
Country SpongeBob. What the hell is a country SpongeBob?
Okay, I'll give it a shot. And now, this refreshing fragrance has been captured in the new white flowers from Summer's Eve. The simplest disposable douche. White flowers is so refreshing. It gives me a feeling of freshness, a feeling of confidence I've never had before. White flowers, the newest of Summer's Eve fresh, clean fragrances. Freshness and confidence have never been simpler.
Oh, that was awesome.
All right, here we go then.
All right.
Okay, SpongeBob Cowboy, what is it?
And now, this refreshing fragrance has been captured in the white flowers from Summer's Eve, the simplest disposable douche. White flowers is so refreshing. It gives me a feeling of freshness. A feeling of confidence I've never had before. White flowers, the newest of the Summer's Eve fresh, clean fragrances. Freshness and confidence have never been simpler. Meow.
Yes. Punch that right in the face.
I'm fucking crying, dude.
I've never done a country SpongeBob before, so I just kept thinking SpongeBob and Reba McEntire. You know, I just kept trying to put them together.
Oh, all right, fancy.
Sometimes a man just needs to smell pretty.
I love white flowers. Their fragrance is so fresh, so light, and so delicate.
I was like, what are you doing? We're gonna take
Ain't nothing wrong with being delicate now.
I know, right? Yeah, that was great, man. Good stuff. Now let's get back to that podcast you first listened to that kind of sparked your interest.
Oh, okay. I'll try to be as brief as I can. My wife is, if she were here, she's totally like my biggest fan, and she knows when I tend to go off on the rabbit trails, and she's like, all right, honey, Reader's Digest edition, Reader's Digest edition.
Cliff Notes,
so,
that's funny.
Carrie Olsen was a guest on this RV podcast, and she talked about how her and her husband wrote this book, and they were doing this little mini book tour. It was about marriage and finance, and which is, you know, finances is one of the two things that you argue about in marriage most.
Thanks.
But so I was listening to that, and she was telling me how she had set up the bathroom in their RV as a sound booth, and she took these voiceover lessons, and she was going on these things called pay to plays, and she was doing these auditions and making money, and even taking their car sometimes if the RV site was too loud, and driving off to like a graveyard or whatever at night and doing voiceovers in the car. And I'm thinking, well, of course, I'm thinking, I talk into microphones, I sing in front of people, I can do this. You know?
Yeah. I can drive.
Exactly. I can go to the graveyard.
There's a graveyard right
down
the street.
And of course my wife, you know, God love her, she just shook her head when I was telling her about this. I said, this is something that I can do and be at home and make money. I don't have to get a second job if we need it, or, you know, whatever. And if something were to ever happen again, I could make money.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm worried about that is because I've got severe arthritis in my knees and my right shoulder. It's turned out it's hereditary, and actually I'm going to need knee replacements here in a couple weeks. So
Jim can relate to that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be able to make it to retirement walking on a concrete floor working on airplanes. I'm just not going to make it.
I hear you.
So,
and the working on airplanes, you say, like, the military did a lot to my back, but I was also a diesel mechanic for construction equipment for a long time, and then a crane operator as well. You know, so I've been around the construction and the, you know, and the diesel mechanic. You know, as a diesel mechanic, and I love that, but my back just couldn't take it anymore. You know, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then I had a life-threatening surgery back in 2017.
Oh, wow.
And during my healing process, that's when I listened to Bill DeWeese and all these guys. And as I was recovering, I figured, hey, people tell me I've got a voice and everything, and it wasn't as easy as I thought. But
yeah,
that first time I turned on the mic, I was yes, and shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know. It's a big difference.
Oh, it definitely is, and especially now that they want you to sound like you're not announcing, even though you are announcing.
They just want you to talk. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, they just want you to. Yeah, exactly. So
my favorite is like, don't sell this product, but sell it.
Yeah, don't sell it, but sell it.
But yeah,
it's the craziest thing in the world. But I like you, when I found out about this, I just dove into it head first, and I started. Where did I go? YouTube University, right? And I started. Don't lose your head there, Brad. But
that stupid thing.
But and Bill DeWeese was one of the people I came across. I'm like, hey, I know that guy. And then he was talking to this guy, this entrepreneur guy named Lance Tomashiro, and he did these videos, and he had the Fiverr VO Success Formula course, and they talked about how I wake up in the morning and I have $175 in voiceover jobs every day, and blah blah
Life
blah.
is sweet.
Yeah, and
was this the guy? There was a guy on Voices.com. I don't know if it's the same guy, but he's like, yeah, I come in, I got my coffee with me, and I check my emails. I get about a couple $100,000 before noon, and then I go to the park with my kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And,
I don't think it was the same guy. This guy he lives in Utah, and he's I think he's Korean.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly. I don't want to speak from. He seems to be a very nice guy, but
he's
I told my wife that he's Asian. I told my wife, I said, I want to get this course, and so I did, with the money I made on Fiverr, because I couldn't wait to get the course. So I joined on Fiverr, and I put my picture up. Actually, I took a picture off of Google of a studio with a microphone, and that was my picture at first. And then I made this, I downloaded this app called Twisted Wave, on my iPad, and I sat in a closet in our spare bedroom, and I had an MXL 990 microphone that almost every musician has that they buy at Guitar Center, which it's not a bad sounding mic. Yeah. It's not a bad sounding mic, but it's got a little bit of self noise. And then I had an IK multimedia adapter, iRig Pro or something like that to plug into my iPad. And for the first year and a half, I did voiceover on Fiverr with a used iPad and Twisted Wave, and I made money. And the first job I ever did, I had to sing a song. A guy hired me to sing a song about Trump to the tune of "That's Amore." Dean Martin, "That's Amore," and he had me sing "That's a Moron."
Give me a sample.
That's a moron. Let's see.
Give me a sample.
It was like I'm trying to think of the words. The song is "When the moon hits your eye with a big pizza," or like a big pizza pie. That's amore. He was singing Trump comes something with flies. He's come. What's the word? There's no colluding with spies. That he's a moron. Blah blah blah. Okay. MAGA hats held so high, made in China. I spy. That's a moron. And at the time, I was pretty apolitical at the time, and so I said, sure, I'll do it. And the guy, it was a $50 job, and the guy tipped me $25. And so I'm like, Are you kidding me? I just made $75 and I didn't have to put music behind it or anything. And so then the next job I got was these Italian video creators. And I was doing a thing. They have a thing in Italy in these mountains, and it's called the Stelvio Pass. And they have these Porsche days where it's like some kind of event where they drive all the twisting mountain roads in Rabla, Italy. And I got paid $75 for that. And I'm thinking, I've been doing this for 2 weeks and I made $150. This is sweet, Well, then it started tapering off, And
it got quiet.
Yeah. And I have to say that Fiverr is still my main source of income in VO.
You're a top-rated seller now, aren't you?
Yeah, in May, I became a top-rated seller. It took me almost 3 years.
That, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a big feat for anybody on Fiverr that knows Fiverr. So absolutely.
Yes, it is. But I want to tell everybody I have nothing really bad to say with Fiverr, because it's just like a job. There's stuff about any job you got that you hate, stuff that you love. I've got some good clients on Fiverr who pay me really well, and then I have regular clients, and then I have some that, I still do a $5 voiceover for a radio station in Canada that I do these agricultural tire commercials, for a 30-second read, and I send it to him, and I do it for $5 every month. But he was my first regular client, and he gave me a voiceover every month to read for 3 years.
Did he give you reviews every time?
And he gave me, for reviews. And so I just did it for the reviews. I did everything. And there's 2 or 3 now that I'll still do a cheap $10 or $5 voiceover for. But only because they were with me from the beginning, and they fed me so much work so that I could get that social proof to get it. But I'm not so proud that I want to give back. And those guys, especially most of the overseas guys, the people who are in Pakistan and the other third world countries, most of them are the nicest people. It's just their communication is different. And you guys, I'm sure you guys know. So they may say that. How many times have they said something to me like, "You will give me the voiceover for $5 in 24 hours," and I'm going, "Oh, I will." Well, and I'm like,
I'll show
give
you.
him the. Well, I'll give you,
ass.
but that's not how they mean it. And it took me a long time to realize that one of them, when they'd piss me off and I'd push him a little bit, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry," blah, blah. And I go, "Okay, I get it. It's the language barrier,
Right.
But most of those people are just regular people, just like us. And we laugh about the same things. And, it's been really cool to meet people from other parts of the country and do voiceovers for them. It's been an amazing experience.
Now, Scott, I got a question. Is this how you got into the VSL side? Because you've been really successful with VSL. Can you explain to some of the listeners what VSL is? And
yeah, those are called. I didn't know what they were either. They were called video sales letters. And I got a job once where that's what this customer called it. And I'm like, "Oh, you're just doing a sales video." That's kind of what it is. And then I saw, if you guys know anybody here who's into VO and they're on any of the Facebook groups I'm on, Dane Scott Udenberg. He was talking about doing a VSL gig on Fiverr. And so I started looking them up, and so I put one out there, and I have a couple clients that hire me, and basically it's here, I've got a script here, and I'll read you part of it. It's basically a hard sell video that you're going to get in your email. Okay.
But it's not conversational.
It's not conversational. Here it is. Men and women over 50 tested high for liver enzymes levels. You're worried about liver scarring? Sorry. I discovered a 60-second liver detox ritual that helped me reverse my fatty liver in 90 days and drop 56 pounds of fat. Tired? Overweight? Pain in your side? Research from Harvard reveals that toxic liver backwash may be at the root of it all. And now there's a safe, natural liver detox that works on even the most dysfunctional liver.
That's
pretty good.
And
awesome,
basically, thanks, man, thanks. But you basically go through and there's one, I did one about. Oh,
I think I've heard your voice on TV watching Three's Company reruns on the commercials.
Yeah. Maybe, but there's some of them. There's one that's testosterone 911, and and you have to talk about.
Testosterone.
Truth is, I had no clue what was happening at the time. But one thing for sure, it was not my poor wife's fault. Because later I discovered this bizarre experience was caused by low libido. And you have to really you believe what you're talking about. You're so emotional because later I discovered, and the guys who want this, they want it the more over the top you
video
can give it.
Sales letters.
They call it being dynamic. Yeah, that's exactly. And then it'll go. Usually it's for supplements or some kind of business course, and it'll go through what it is, and then towards the end it starts turning on this hard sell,
need this.
It usually with this.
Yeah, with yes, exactly that. With the it goes through the science of the pills or whatever they're going to have you doing.
With these pills, you'll be up all night long.
Yes, yes, you will.
Side effects include diarrhea, headache, nausea, vomiting.
She's gonna need white flour.
Oh, okay.
Too much fun on this show.
But it'll go through the ingredients, and then at the end it'll be here. Okay, these kill me. These amazing studies show that the ingredients of in Urgent Liver 911 can unclog the fat in your liver and assist it back to good health. That's absolutely your choice. But what will it change for you? Please answer this question honestly. How are you going to feel in a month, 6 months, or a year from now? If you don't take action today, you're still dealing with a toxic liver. And God forbid, how will you feel if your liver starts to fail? Well, how the hell are you going to feel when your liver starts to fail?
I'm going to cry.
But yeah, I mean, that's what they want. And it's kind of fun because I try to see like how far I can go with it. And, I have made probably 80% of my income this year on Fiverr.
That seems like a fun job to me.
Video sales letters. It's really fun.
Scott, thanks for enlightening. Fucking A, really. Scott, thanks for enlightening. I'm not going to use that word. Scott, thanks for being here, brother. Man, I can't speak. But if you want to, go ahead and tell folks where they can find out more about you or check you out on social media.
Okay. Well, I'm currently working on a website because I've decided that in 2021, I'm going to start marketing my business outside of Fiverr and outside of the pay-to-plays. And go direct. I've actually had a few clients this year just come to me on LinkedIn.
That's beautiful.
And so I've realized what a powerful tool that is without me just even trying. I've just been hanging out with you VO guys on LinkedIn, not really doing anything with it. And I got jobs, I think I got 3 jobs this year where they came to me. So, and one guy lives down the street to me. His last name is Walton, like mine. And he runs this is great. He runs a social media marketing company, and he asked me, he wanted to start doing voiceovers for his videos for different clients. And so he did me one, and I said, well, how about this? I will give you half off of this voiceover if you will coach me on social media and marketing and help me out with my website, because he goes, no, man, you got to do a WordPress website. You got to do, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that crap, and he said, I'll help you. I'll help get you started. So for free, so
nice.
I don't have a problem with that sort of thing. So many people are so wrapped up on, that's not industry rates. That's you're killing industry rates, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm getting things that are worth money for helping somebody out, whose business needs a leg up just like mine does. And so, we help each other, and it's amazing. Like if there's something, Brad, that if I come across a job that has somebody that needs like a ring announcer kind of feel, who am I going to call?
Absolutely.
I'm going to be sending you a DM, and Big Jim, somebody who's going to need that.
Same way.
Going to need that. This program has crazy material. That, when I'm get that deep register that I don't have. Yeah. I'm going to call Big Jim. You know what I mean? And I trust that you guys will call me for, I don't know what I'm good at, but you guys will help me with it. So I think with a rising tide raises all boats. And I think that we should work together. Anyway, I hear my wife on my shoulder. Reader's Digest, honey. But anyway, there will be, the name of my company is Great Scott Voice Media. And so it'll be greatscottvoicemedia.com when I get the website up. But right now you can find me, Scott Walton, Great Scott Voice Media on LinkedIn. And you can find me, Great Scott Voice Media on Facebook. My wife and I share a page, but then I have a business page for my voiceover business. So currently that's where you can find me, or you can go to just go to scottwaltonvo@gmail.com, just like every other voiceover person
I know, right?
in voiceover. Your name, vo@gmail.com.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Brad, tell the folks where they can find out more about you, hire you, and find you on social media.
Yeah, you can go check out my website, bradstormvo.com. Instagram and Twitter at BradStormVO, Bradstorm Voiceover on Facebook Business, Bradstorm Lanou on LinkedIn, and Bradstorm on YouTube.
And Big Jim, you can find me at BigJimMedia.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter at Big Jim Media. And remember, when things are looking down, and remember,
And remember,
Scott was about to pee. Okay, what?
Like Jim's got this look on his face like, well, times get tough. And Brad's just like,
I'm like, where the hell, what line do I come in on? I forget.
You know, Brad, when life gets tough
and shit gets real, you gotta
punch every day in the face. Yeah!
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.